Welcome back to the grim darkness of the 41st millennium. I'm Inquisitor Temperance Price, keeper of the Inquisition's Black Library, and this is the third volume in a report on the Valentyne Heresy, an actual play podcast set in the Genesis adaptation of Warhammer 40,000's Dark Heresy RPG. This report features Game Master Tom McGee and players Ryan LaPlante as Inquisitor Lucius Valentyne, Tyler Hewitt as Attikus Viz, Laura Hamstra as Eli Sharp, and Della Borovic as Morgan Rawls. My report shows that the Inquisitorial band are advancing their plans in the Cloud Palace. Valentyne began wielding his new authority. Attikus learned secrets about the king, and Morgan and Eli managed to sneak their way inside. But without the ability to communicate, will our heroes unite or die separately inside the palace? Find out next in this episode of the Valentyne Heresy.
From the Lizardman letter, unsent drafts. Well, yes, obviously your fucking comlink doesn't work, neither does mine. He is going to be furious. Valentyne, you have made your way into the office of Forrest Pollard, the Space Marine. It is very strange to be entering the office of a Space Marine, not known for their offices, and yet here you are. The room is stark, as you would expect. It is blank walls, a desk that has, Battlestar Galactica style corner cut off paper with quill. There's so many fucking purity seals in Warhammer. He's got to have candle wax for, seals, the Regent seal for sealing things. You do see a rack for weapons that is obviously empty. Massive reinforced chair to carry the bulk of Adeptus Astartes in full armor. It's probably more of a metal bench than a proper chair. But Valentyne, at first glance, this is the kind of room that exists to be seen in rather than used. You don't get the sense. It's all like the polar opposite of kind of Billingberg's overstuffed desk and shit. This is if you were staging this to intimidate someone, it's set up for that. You can see him from the door. He would look very austere in here. And what do you do when you enter this space? What happens for Valentyne?
Valentyne, the moment he enters, he takes a heartbeat to take in the appearance of how it's supposed to appear. He locks that as a snapshot of ultimately how Pollard wants to be seen, because you're going to decorate the room to be that. He either is or he isn't. But here's the nice thing for an Inquisitor going into an office he needs to search with not much stuff in it. You can toss this motherfucker real quick. So he is, because he knows he's got took him 30 seconds to get from the security room into this office. He also wants to get a last pistol in case his weapons don't show up. See if he can grab a menacing-looking cap or jacket to make it more military than Butler. He's got 4 minutes to go through this place, so this is the ugliest one-man SWAT raid on a place ever. If it's a drawer, it's coming out. Anything that can move, getting tossed. He's got to see if there's anything hidden, secret, anything that's written publicly. You don't write conspiracies down. He believes many things, but Forrest Pollard does not seem fucking sloppy about details from any of the meetings he's had. So he's just got to toss the place as fast as he possibly can.
All right. Well, if there was ever a case for skullduggery, tossing a room at great speed feels like the case for skullduggery.
Okie dokie.
Unless you have a more inquisitorial pitch you want to throw my way. But
we've used perception as an investigation skill before, but I'm fine with either because this is rushed. He doesn't get to take the time, perhaps, of an investigation. So skullduggery, I would also buy.
I'd give you either. You can pick your poison. Again, it's like.
I think let's use, based on the way you described it, if there was more shit to go through, I would call it skullduggery, because that's trashing efficiently. Yep. He's more looking for what's the hidden thing. Is there a hidden drawer? Is there a vault somewhere? That kind of thing. Okay, so I'll lean on perception. What's my difficulty?
Your difficulty is 3. To be honest, this is a small room. It's, as I said, it's pretty unadorned. You get a setback for time.
Makes sense.
Just it's a bit of a mess. I will give you a boost for the sparseness. It affects the difficulty, but I think it's also worth a boost. Because as someone used to having to toss these things more conspiratorially, just being able to loot without consequence is pretty nice. Yep. I think that's what I will call it at. And I'll give you a setback from Morgan's threat.
Great. And I carried a boost forward from my last roll that was given to me by Morgan before there was
it's
a roll.
all Morgan die, all the way down.
Nice.
Alrighty, let's see what happens. 3 advantage.
Okay. So looting this room, it is as spotless as you think. Honestly, the sense you're getting is that he isn't in here very often. That in all likelihood, if this is the showroom, this isn't the actual room. That said, I'll let you spend your 3 advantage for similar to what Laura did for like a thing you observed that doesn't really give you a huge amount of information, but gives you something.
If this is true, Tom, I'm going to make a narrative pitch, Tom, but you know more about this character than I do. So
I can just tell you what it. Oh, sorry. Are you looking for something else, or you want the thing I have?
Oh, I mean, if there's something I can just glean from this abstractly, hell yeah, give me that, buddy. That's what I want. Yeah. Everything towards figuring out this fucking guy.
Okay. In looting, you don't find any papers, or there's no secret door. There's no like latch that unlocks a bookshelf, whatever. That said, you do find that under the desk, so if you're sitting with your hands in your lap, like that's the lower side of the desktop, there are a number of grooves that seem to have been made in the desk over time. And again, as someone who has done a fair amount of interrogations, which I'm sure are always on the level, these are very clearly fingernail tracks. He's clearly been clawing trenches in the bottom of his desk over time.
This is all very interesting because Valentyne Pollard is still a mystery to him because he has the scarification that would suggest a world eater that had their butcher's nails removed, but that's impossible. You wouldn't put those on, but they have an anger management, and this character, like Pollard, seems incredibly driven and focused, but has never actually showed rage or losing control. This is the first sign of Pollard having something burning inside him other than duty, which also, from what Valentyne knows about the Adeptus Astartes, is highly fucking suspect. Because if an Astartes is getting stressed, as far as he's seen, they train. They're basically just monastic warriors. You don't just sit at a desk being upset unless you have a duty that does not require training. That shit is fucked up. So it's just logging for him. It's also a relief that he didn't find something super heretical because there's kind of still a mystery of what the hell is going on. But it's like, okay, Marine, but they're just, it's the iceberg theory. He now believes he's seen the tip of the iceberg, but there's a lot going on under the armor and under kind of the facade that he hasn't quite solved.
Cool.
Time to go find a gun. Fuck it, this is all you had time for.
So you get out from under the desk and go in search of... Good, I think we can say narratively, you found that by looking for a clasp or like a button, and just feeling around under the table, and it's like, what the fuck? And then kind of peeking under to see the thing, just to save Valentyne the indignity of crawling around on his hands and knees, being like, what's going on?
Honestly, he would have done it to look under the cot and anything else. Like, he doesn't have dignity, he's here to do a job.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, fair point. Meanwhile, Attikus, the evening is wearing on, and Frederick is slowly corralling the crowd towards his own bedchamber, which Wickstrop kind of leans over and says, yes, it is our wedding gift from my uncle that we get to use his chambers for our marital bliss. I tried to talk him out of it. He is somewhat implacable. I do apologize for the indignity of all of this.
Oh, no, it's, tonight has been so much already. I'm quite happy to just have some alone time together, wherever that may be.
And the Duke smiles with relief, given that it's like you've gotten this far before seeing the full unique qualities of his family, and now it's like, oh, now you're really Like, again, we were on, Love is Blind, and we were in our magic pods, and it was all amazing and wonderful, and people were paying for us to go on helicopter rides. And now you get to come home with me to the swamp to meet my swamp family. And it's different here. It's a different vibe than it was there. But he is reassured by that. Also, I'm not going to make you roll because you managed, as Attikus continues to become, as Valentyne put it, an incredible governor, to not say this has been bad, but to just say this has been so much that like he just has the room to accept that. He's okay with it being like, okay. Huh?
But Attikus has learned that Duke Wixthrop, for some reason, likes weakness. So he's...
So he takes your golden hand with his kind of gold wrapped arm, and like squeezes the hand, which obviously feels nothing. But slowly the two of you begin to make your way towards the king's chamber. Can you roll me a perception check?
Yeah.
This is going to be a bad one because you aren't actively looking around you. This is just to see if you notice something. So I'm going to put this one at 5.
5 purples?
5 purples.
Okay.
And you know what? You guys are hurting for story points. So I will spend a story point. Give you 4 and 1 in your favor.
You're such a
No,
sweetheart.
I was going to say, I'm like, we're not hurting. What?
I feel like this is
kind of
going to come
are.
up.
Yeah. You're gonna be.
Also, don't forget you can spend story points
Ominous.
outside of rolls as well to just like
Right.
get stuff. So, for example, Valentyne, if you just want a magic gun and hat combo from a rack unattended
How many
on a
story
wall.
points for his chainsword back?
He's going
No,
to
no,
send
no.
a
I
runner.
sent somebody for that. Let's
More
not
than
waste
you
points.
Yeah. How many you got? All right. So I will give you a boost for what you described earlier, Tyler, about Attikus just kind of wanting to look anywhere other than these like morally reprehensible people, which means you might actually catch random stuff because you're trying not to look anyone in the eye right now.
Yeah, the spectacle of everything that's going on here does not interest him. And I think, do I also have a boost carried over from Morgan's bevy of boosts?
Boost Nanza, yeah.
Okay.
I believe Dell did yell boosts for everyone.
Yes,
so
okay. I wanted to make sure
And
that
actually, I'm going to give you, this is a weird one. I'm going to give you one more for the fact that everyone in this room is lit up and talking at like inebriated volume. And you're a sober person, so you can often hear them over stuff because, your senses aren't dulled by all the space coke and Amersec.
All right, you know what? This went from being a joke of a roll to like, we might have something here, so I'm gonna spend a story point.
Oh,
I think.
shit.
Yeah,
Look at
just
that.
to spice it up a little here. See if, because this is the mission, and I think as the ridiculous wedding traditions continue to be doled out, Attikus is more and more desperate for something mission related to happen. He's just like, please let there be an attack. Like, this is,
Guy keeps talking about fucking chambers.
yeah.
Eli's
Keep
just
talking
separately
about
mad.
who you share walls with. I'm going to put your head through one. Okay, I'm going to roll. 2 failures, 2 threats.
Fair enough.
The good dice were good, and the bad dice were better. Yeah.
Yep. You are desperately looking around for something that is a mission anywhere for the love of the Emperor, something. And unfortunately, all you see, it's like one of those movies where they, the camera spins and it's just leering smiles and knowing winks and, people giving you the thumbs up. And it's just a crowd of people who are all making innuendo at you. And again, just...
What's an innuendo? Like, what is it?
And Duke works up like, what?
What? Am I saying it right? An innuendo.
Yeah, you're saying it correctly. Oh, do you mean the circle and finger gestures that some of the cruder members of the party are making at you currently?
Is that what that is? Just everyone gesturing us fucking?
Yes, that is what innuendo is. Innuendo is just a fancy
copulating.
way of saying it or doing it that makes you seem classy while also being incredibly crass.
I see.
Yes, it's at the end of the day, it's all baser instincts, just wearing a fancier hat.
And Attikus like rolls through the lexicon of like noble things to say. Just says,
Charming.
And Wickstrop just like purses his lips, says, isn't it just? And on that, the two of you agree. Meanwhile, downstairs, Morgan and Eli, you are finally in the main hall of the Cloud Palace.
We did it.
We did it.
Morgan, you just
7
saw...
episodes later.
Yeah, it's just Matt Damon aging at the end of Private Ryan. It's like, I was a young man out there, and now I'm this. Morgan, you just witnessed a guard walk up to where you guys were and look around rather confused with their hand on a sidearm. You've now been ushered inside. The door slammed behind you. You're receiving no communications from Liz the Lizardman because your comms are jammed. And you are in the main space. Eli, you and Morgan are in. You look around, as I previously described. It's kind of a, for lack of better visual metaphor, the Scarface lobby, where there's the big fucking statue of King Frederick, super naked, super impressive, looking great, holding an aquila in one hand and the sigil of Greybridge in the other. There's the two curved staircases going up that kind of disappear into that back area that gets John Wick-y until it reaches the upper floors. You can see a large dining hall off to your left, as well as the various rooms we talked about, the lounge where Attikus got his new arm, and that sort of thing. People are getting real sloppy now. Eli, you can see that there is a remote bar, similar to how weddings do it, set up near those two doors. So it's very clear people are grabbing a drink and then flooding out the east doors onto the lawn. Now that the king has left, there seems to be a bit more mobility, but those two doors that were being guarded are still very much open, despite the door you came through on the west being closed. The main entrance remains heavily guarded, and people are milling about. Revels in full swing. And
Open bar?
Yeah.
All right. Eli will get a drink to hold.
So you grab a drink to hold.
He'll grab one for Morgan too.
Okay. And yeah, because you guys aren't dressed as guards. You're just dressed as yourselves.
People.
Yeah.
I
Do you
forgot
get
that.
Sacator Void Stain a drink?
Did he get in here or did we leave him outside?
You know what?
I did
he
pull him
follow?
along.
Let
No,
me
we
roll.
didn't. We were
I've been trying not to roll
guarding.
during this dramatic final arc here, but let me roll for our boy Sacator Void Stain.
Yeah, or
like
does he
it's
get
on internet.
escorted out by security without the two of you?
Oh, man, we're gonna find out.
He also just looks like a person, so
it would be
does.
very funny if like you're going mission mode and you just like turn around and he's there. Like, what are we doing here?
let's
I
see,
thought
buddy.
we were supposed to
See
stay
what he did.
outside.
That's a solid Sacator Void Stain, I'll tell you.
Oh, thank you.
All
I
right,
had it in me.
he's in all of us. Just
I was gonna say, neither does he canonically.
Ooh.
whenever you're sheepish and want to hide in a corner, Void Stain will be there.
It's there
Okay.
in your
You
heart.
studied the blade.
Morgan, what is your stealth? How many ranks in stealth do you have?
What? Oh, how many ranks in stealth?
Yeah,
2,
2. Okay, and what is your agility?
5. That's my best stat.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so 2 red and 3 purple.
Yep.
And this is against, I think, his perception. Isn't his strong suit. So
Morgan unknowingly
I ghosted him.
escaped him.
I think honestly you're just fast. So the minute you're like, and over we go, like in real life, I lose Megan in crowds constantly because she's smaller and she just like weaves between people. And then she's like, why aren't you behind me? And I'm like, because I'm 6'3" and a big dude. If I do that, people get killed. So it's that kind of thing where it's just you ducked in, and now you might just
There was
be
a
standing
people.
outside.
Honestly, if anything, he probably followed and then got stuck in the people pile. Like there were people falling over each other there.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm rolling against 2 red and 3 purple, 2 green and 2 blue.
Good luck, my friend.
Das failure. So.
Oh no, they
So,
left without me.
as you're being swept into the building, and Lizzo Lizardman is like extending a hand in desperation. He steps between you and the hand because he doesn't know that servitor is Lizzo Lizardman. And he's like, back, you robotic abomination. And he tries to shove the hand away, and the hand closes on his sleeve. And he's just like, oh dear. And you guys just sweep inside, and he rips his sleeve free, turns around, and goes, don't worry, darling, I'm... And the door shuts. And you guys are like already away getting your drinks, so you don't hear the, like, tap, tap, tap. Hello? Tap, tap. Hey, pardon me. Oh dear, from outside. So no, your boy Voidstain is outside for now. We'll see if he
I
finds
can't
his way
remember.
in.
Is that bad?
He
These are
brought
all
up just
questions.
for funsies.
I mean,
we just
technically, Valentyne asked for all 3 of you by name, so he may have given orders to get his allies and ended up with the world's oldest young man.
it's true. The guard's still out there with them.
If he goes to ask where you are, it may cause problems for everyone.
Okay, so you've got your drinks. You're blending into the crowd. In my head, you guys were wearing guard uniforms, and I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be such trouble."
No,
but
we're
no,
in
No,
fancy
we got
suits.
like kind of like
Oh, hell yeah,
the
it's
dark
just
black
civilians.
with the silvery trim.
So
Yeah.
Toby is wearing a giant robot bird, and Captain Rolsvarn has a sniper rifle across her back. So
That's
they do
true.
stand out a little.
A little
You
bit.
mean Eli's wearing a
Yeah.
giant robot bird?
Oh,
Yeah, the bird's
but
on Eli, but yes.
everyone's pretty buzzed. So it's also a matter of like, why do you have that weird stick on your back? That's stupid. All right, bye. These people don't know violence,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Like they, okay, so you're in the crowd.
Are they? So these people are drunk. Are these people also high?
Some of them.
Like, what are they? Are they just milling about and chill, or are they like raging?
Oh, they're raging at this point. This is after the wedding couple leaves, and everyone's just kind of at someone else's free bar.
Yep.
Like, okay, we don't have to be polite anymore. The king is gone. The duke is gone. The most important. It's also a bit of the like the people who didn't win the award kind of party, which is like they are better than normal people because they're in the Cloud Palace. But what the normal people don't know is that within the Cloud Palace, there's a VIP room. And if you're not in that, then you're actually no one. There's a joke in Toronto around the Toronto International Film Festival that if you get an invite to a party, it's not a cool party and you shouldn't go because like the really important parties no one gets invited to. So what ends up happening is a bunch of people like me show up to a party being like, holy shit, a TIFF party. And then you're standing around, you're like, oh, none of us are famous. We all just, oh no.
Yeah, for like 3 years, Tom and I met at each other at parties like that. at TIFF.
And we'd be like, yay, Dum Dum's networking event? Yeah, so it's that kind of vibe where they're just, everyone is salty about it, but they're all in the same boat. So they're very happy to just kind of get wasted together. And, you know, people are like making out in the corner and stuff like this. Really is just like the Celestial season is a rare event and everyone is using it. It's a St. Patrick's Day level of excuse to just rage for no reason and just be like, oh, whatever, St. Patrick, that's what it's about, right? Like they're just all getting rowdy. So in terms of cover, you guys are actually in pretty good cover right now, despite the giant metal bird and the gun, because it's, you know, the stand around and have polite conversation thing died the minute everyone went upstairs. Now it's a lot of like very Roman orgy kind of like people throwing, there's a food fight in a corner, like, you know, people are trying to do handstands. There's just random bullshit happening all around.
Well, I think as Eli hands Morgan a drink, she's standing there holding the drink. And I feel like Morgan probably needs to do a roll because Morgan being at the bar is just like people sitting. Sometimes it get a little rowdy, but it's like controlled and it was a small little corner. This is like chaotic excess in a way that is triggering for Morgan.
Yeah,
that
I'd buy
feels
that.
suddenly very scary.
Yeah, I'd buy that. Okay, so let's do... I'm inclined to say either a cool or a discipline. I think discipline because it's willpower, and that
Okay.
seems like the right to keep your cool.
Yeah. How difficult.
Okay, this is a weird way to go about this. Eli, you notice Morgan's a bit twitchy. You're not sure about what, because Morgan, you've never told Eli, but only Valentyne knows about the cult on your homeworld. So I think
He's seen the back scar, and I think she has drunkenly, scarily told him of just general vibes of like,
Yeah.
I'm scared. I am scared
There have
of these
been
things.
drunken admissions.
Yes.
Okay. Then I will cut I was gonna make Eli notice that you felt off and then tell you something, and then depending on what he told you to calm you down. But if he actually knows what's up,
Yeah.
then I'm gonna lower the difficulty. So because Eli's with you, I'm gonna set this difficulty at 3.
Okay.
It's still a lot, but
Yeah.
you've got a firm hand on the shotgun near you, which is a comfort. So difficulty of 3. I'm going to spend a story point because I love that you pitched a save for yourself. That's great, and I want to respect it and honor
Okay.
it by making it more difficult and
Thank you.
possible.
I don't know if this ever came up, but in our backstory character creation, we decided that Morgan wouldn't have, like, she would have had nightmares, so wouldn't have been able to, like Eli would have heard what things that she said in nightmares and stuff.
Okay.
And they would have discussed it. Just a little fun little fact.
Yeah.
I like it. Well, it was going to be difficulty 4, but I'm knocking one off for Eli support. I will give you a boost for how different this is, because on your world, it was like aquatic and kind of agricultural, and this is like marble, golds.
The location is different. Yeah.
The location,
It was more pastoral.
That's it. Yeah. It's not like a satyr bacchanalia. This is like a Roman imperial bacchanalia. It's Caligula, not a painting you would have to cover your eyes at in a museum. Okay, so I will give you a boost that you are unaware of for not necessarily noticing that Voidstain isn't with you, but for not having to manage his chattering for a hot second
Yep.
while you do this. It's just it gives you some cognitive load back. Yeah, that's it for me, I think.
Okay. This is not a great chance, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Oh my God. And it is 2 successes. That was not in my favor at all.
Holy
Wow.
shit. Morgan, how do you come down from this swell of capital C chaos panic within you?
Yeah, I think it is the fact that as she's starting to freak out and panic, as she leans against Eli and just bodily being next to him.
And yeah, Eli will kind of like turn his head and just like look into her and just like kind of grab her forearm until she looks up at him to just like grounding eye contact.
Yep. So she has momentary grounding eye contact with him, and the fear of it fades away because it's like, nope, not there. Eli's here. We have a mission. This is different. And then her expression changes and she does like a smarmy smirk and like toasts the glass at him.
And he just nods and clinks it.
So with that crisis averted, you raise your glasses, brief kind of calm in the midst of the storm around you. And within that calm, Morgan, you see someone walk with tremendous purpose towards well, you don't know it's a gun room, but towards a room, and kind of have terse words with a guard. You're close enough to hear them say, new commander needs his weapons. you got to let me in. And two guards kind of nod to each other, and one of them taps their comm. Hears something, nods, and says, "Yes, of course. Please step inside." And the runner disappears inside the room. The guard turns to the guard next to him and nods, and that guard follows him into the room and closes the door.
And Morgan will incline her head over there towards the wall, because the other option in this situation is just, I mean, if we can get to some guards or their helmets or even something else that's technologically like a panel, if we can figure out what's going on, that might be useful for us. So
you're making your way over?
We're making our way near there to see what's going on.
The door opens again as you walk up. And the guard emerges, wiping one hand on, just like on the side of his pants, and then standing at attention. He nods briefly to the other guard.
So there was a guard that went in and did not come back out.
Runner went in, guard followed, guard exited, door shut.
Wiping his...
Yep. And it's just that one guard that's there?
Now both of them are. So
Okay.
there were two guards at the door. One gave the other one a nod. That one followed the runner in, came back out, wiping hand on pants. Probably just washed his hands. Probably nothing untoward.
Right.
Washed his hands.
Like, Morgan will turn to Eli, do you think you could handle this quietly?
Eli looks around to see if there's anyone else observing them.
Party's in full swing. These two guards are just standing at what's clearly the cloakroom, quote. Mm-hmm. They're standing at attention at the doors. The party isn't paying tremendous attention to this. This is in that front hallway, so it's near the front exit. It's not super central, but like it's not around a corner. The party is still behind it, and someone could easily glance by and see stuff. But
All right. Well, Morgan is going to go in, and not the guard that wiped his hands on his pants, but the other guard. She's going to move up and then be fake drunk and be like, oh, where does this lead? This looks like a very interesting. Oh, and then she's going to trip and throw her drink on the guard and like lean on him like, oh, I am so clumsy.
okay, let's get deception, please.
I would love for Eli. Eli would follow her.
Yeah. We can have to get an Eli boost.
I'm
For
going to
sure.
try to deal with one of these guards for you.
Okay, I'm going to say
Giving
one
a-
red, two purple.
Okay.
Darling, you're making a fool of yourself.
You can get a boost for the scathing, dry, Noel Coward. That's not what I'm looking for. The Edward Albee dry wit behind you of a disappointed husband at his wife's drunken shenanigans. So you get a boost for that. You get a boost for having done this ploy even just on this show a bunch of times. I think that might be it for boost.
Do I
to be
get a
honest.
boost because I am secretive as my... That's the boost I always... Whenever I do deception rolls, I get a boost because of my history. For being
Sure, yeah,
secretive.
that's kind of what I meant, but also you've just done this actual ploy a bunch, so I feel like you should have proficiency in it. So yes, you can have a boost
Thank
for
you. Perfect.
doing the
Perfect.
Chewbacca gambit again, and then a boost for being sneaky because you have
All right.
sneaky
Where
boost.
are story points at?
4 and 1 in your favor.
All right. I think I'll take a
shit.
story point because I would like to give some extra cover to the Eli to potentially do something. All right. I'm going to roll an scared. 4 successes.
Look, you've had to
Nice.
do this on moving targets, so someone standing stationary at attention is fine. So yes, the one guard fully stumbles back with almost a bit of grace in his step, and kind of like very easily like drops his gun, which is on a
sling?
shoulder sling. Thank you. Drops the gun on the sling in order to catch you, and it's very gentle and almost a balletic dip. because you realize as he grabs you, these are guards on the Cloud Palace, and the odds that A, this happens all the time and they're used to it are very high, but B, you could be someone stupid important, and if you fall or bounce off of him or are hassled by him, there is a very, very steep ledge nearby that is very easy. Because ultimately, the Royal Guard, still low on the society rung. They're not top people. So he catches you kind of elegantly with a whoop. So Eli, you have a moment where he is fully distracted by the Morgan who has fallen into him.
Yeah.
Your sloppy wife has fallen upon him.
And Morgan will just absolutely keep trying to distract him and is pawing on him and is just like, oh, you have such beautiful eyes. How many rooms in here have you seen? Yeah. Just like whatever to
I'm
keep
just
his
imagining
attention.
like slapping a hand on his helmet and just
down
the viewplate.
Anything here.
Okay, cool. Eli, what do you do while this guard is distracted?
What's the other guard doing?
He's just wiping his hand on his pants.
I mean, I'd kind of like to knife him
When in space Rome,
in the throat.
escalated.
And I would like to do like a kind of like a little bit of a, not quite a stagger, but an unsteady walk over to the other guard and just be like, look at that. What a foolish woman, kind of like trying to just like,
Okay,
connect on how stupid rich women are. This is Eli.
Yes.
It's just a nice misogynistic connection with a stranger.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, she is gonna knife him, so it's less a smash the patriarchy and more stab it in the throat. But okay,
I'm just using the patriarchy to my advantage.
Yeah. So Eli,
Samesies.
let's say I'm going to give you the walk up without a roll because Morgan's ruse was successful. And based on everything I've described for how this place works, whether this guy agrees with that attitude or not, he has been on the receiving end of, as like anyone who's spent time in a bar with like old dudes in a bar will just invariably be on the receiving end of like a, women, right? kind of comment. So the guard, I think you don't need to sell it. You don't need to roll deception for this. He has heard old shitty dudes in this place.
It's kind of, I'm doing my part of the script.
Yes, 100%. But also for him, it's like same problem to his partner, which is like, we don't get a voice here, so just shut the fuck up. So I'll say that lets you get into knifing range, and we can go ahead and roll your attack. This is melee light.
What do you know?
It is difficulty 2 because that's always the case. I'm going to spend a story point to account for his armor. Which brings us back to 4 and 1 in your favor. I'm going to give you a boost for your ploy. Mm-hmm. So getting in there and being all buddy. I believe you have unspent boost, or have you used the Morgan boost? I feel like we may have used it.
Yeah, I only had successes. I didn't do advantages.
Yeah, it's been used. Everybody's done at least one roll since.
Okay, so 1 boost from successful ploy. I will give you an additional boost for how out of left field this would be in this scenario.
Yeah.
No one is supposed to have weapons in here, so they would weirdly have their guard down ever so slightly. Mm-hmm. Or for argument's sake, I'm going to assume that Morgan tossed the gun nearby or like in a bush or something rather than walking with a fucking full rifle strapped.
Well, that was honestly when I thought of designing the outfit, that she has one shoulder cape and it's under the cape over her shoulder.
Right.
Yeah.
So they didn't see any weapons. Nice. They would assume no one has weapons, which means their level of scrutiny is more like someone's going to throw a fist or a glass at me, not someone's going to knife my neck. And I will give you no, I think that's it. I think that's it for me. Anything you would want to make a case for, Laura?
Just looking to see if I had anything in my talents, but nah, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm gonna roll.
Hit it.
Hello. 5 advantage, 1 success, and a triumph.
Ooh, wee.
Hell yeah.
I will use, because obviously I have to like,
Disarm his head from the rest of his body.
yeah, because with that number of successes, okay, I'll let you say, because I can do an incidental and knock him prone with 3 of the advantages.
If you
one of my
want, I would
talents.
say, based on the way we've set this up, that this would be a coup de grace for me. So if you're looking to just like drop him, I think what probably happens, and again, that's an exceptionally high roll. So I think what happens is like, oh yeah, women, right? And as he turns to look at her, you just knife him in the throat. And as
Knife
his
him in
hand,
throat.
Yep.
Other hand comes up immediately over his mouth to just stop any potential scream that comes out.
Sure.
yeah,
And then it's just
gurgle.
like pushing him against the wall.
well, I'll give you with
Oh.
the triumph. You can push him into the room behind him. So
Yes, I would
having
love to
just
do
come
that.
out of the gun room, it's just like knife up, wall through. Morgan, I assume with that, are you going to try and dispatch this guy, or are you just going to let Eli and the guard disappear?
I'm going to let Eli and the guard disappear. She doesn't have a way to silently. She has no weapons except a sniper rifle. So all she can do is cover for time for Eli and hope that he can figure it out, that she's just staying in position.
Great. So Eli, you ride the guard into the room, shutting the door behind you, and immediately both of you trip and stumble over the body of the runner,
Yeah.
who has also, in an ironic twist of fate, been knifed in the throat. He is on the ground, just blood kind of.
Part of me for a moment, it was like, kindred spirit somewhere. just a flicker of that
Bleak.
thought.
I mean, technically,
like-
you know you're holding on to the kindred
Yeah.
spirit.
Not somewhere.
Yeah.
You can see
Spirit is leaving his body.
Just look into his eyes and say, kindred spirits. Just say it to him, you know?
yeah, it's just blank helmet eyes. You see the guy on the floor is like blood is sort of spurting from his neck, and he's trying to mouth something at you.
Eli will drop the guard and just put his hand onto the runner's throat to just try to, like, I don't know,
Yeah,
give him some stability. Like,
sure.
say it.
He hands you a like a code chip, like basically like a fob,
Yeah.
and with a shaky hand reaches up and just smears blood down a case, like a weapon case. And again, as I describe these things, these are pods, basically similar to like tanning beds, or like those like weird sensory deprivation pods. So very
Yeah.
classy way, glass, almost like little glass caskets. Like they do have a window you can look through. But he smears his hand down one and then taps it, and holds up the chip, just kind of rasping with his last breath. For the blind commander.
The blind commander. Maybe Morgan knows.
Standing, you can see that inside this case are a very familiar power sword and bolt pistol.
Oh, that blind got you.
Two dead men
guy.
here.
Dead guy.
As you reach out and kind of tap the fob against the locking mechanism, there's a whir of servos and a hiss as the pod pops open, and before you are Valentine's beloved sword and pistol.
All right. Okay. Eli acknowledges that.
talking to dead people, nodding to weapons.
I mean, there's still a guard right there he has to deal with. So he'll just, before he retrieves in that, he's just going to kind of slowly step out and attempt to dispatch of the guard with Morgan.
All right. Morgan, you're flailing all over this guard. Let's get a roll to see how distracting you are, to see what Eli's dealing with here.
All right.
So, yeah, I think we're still in Deception Town.
Okay.
Difficulty of 3, 1 red, 2 purple. He's starting to actively look to his friend for help.
Yeah. And I feel like Morgan at this point has been trying to get his helmet off of like, no, I need to see more of you. And just like, then he can't talk to anybody. Like she's got her fingers up under there.
You get the deception boost, but no other boost from me because this has been going on for a while.
It has been.
Growing tired of your shenanigans.
Drunk hands groping up his face up under into the helmet. That's very funny.
And I'm going to give you a setback.
Attractive to me. I can feel your beauty.
I love your essence.
I want to taste your sandwich.
That's throwback.
We have a one setback for him actively looking for help from someone who is missing.
Okay.
Which, when he doesn't see him immediately out of his peripheral vision, is going to be stressful to him.
Okay.
And I think that's it. Laura, you had a ton of advantage, though, yeah?
Yeah. I think I had 5.
5? Okay.
I think so.
We can pass 2 boosts from that to you.
Okay. Let's see. Let's see how this ploy do. She's trying to bodily put this guard against the wall. Ooh, 4 advantages. That's it.
Okay.
I was better coming fast.
If it's a super successful roll, I was going to give Eli a freebie. It is not.
Come in, Eli.
But, Del, how do you want to spend that advantage?
Well, he already dropped his weapon.
He is holding something else.
He is?
Something that would probably be
holding?
deeply embarrassing and problematic for him to drop.
Yeah. Well, then she's got her hands all over him. Whatever he's got, he could drop. Like,
Great. You hit the ground. And he goes, "Oh shit!" And immediately reaches down to help you up. Eli.
At which points he gets a knife in the back of the neck.
You know,
Eli just going guard fishing. Just got one.
Kindred spirits. With a swift strike, you knife the guard in the back, pull him quickly into the chamber. Morgan, you are left to get up on your own and just sort of quickly get in. But honestly, quickly getting up and just closing doors is a specialty of yours. And so you do, leaving you and Eli in a room with 2 corpses, a power sword, and a bolter.
3 corpses.
I can't do math.
This episode of the Valentyne Heresy features the voices of players Ryan LaPlante, Tyler Hewitt, Laura Hamstra, and Del Borovic, alongside Game Master Tom McGee. This episode was edited and mixed by Laura Hamstra, and the Valentyne Heresy's artwork was created by Del Borovic at delborovic.com. That's DELBOROVIC. Our theme song is The Hordes by Megan McDuffie, and our ad breaks use the tracks No Control and Chiefs by Jazzar, JAHZZAR. All of their music is available at freemusicarchive.org. For all things Dum Dums and Dice, including merchandise and how to join our Patreon, you can visit dumdumdice.com or find us on social media at dumdumdice. That's DUMBDICE. Ave Imperator, and death to all the heretics.
Dum Dums and Dice has to give a special thank you to the supreme beings of our Patreon at this time: Christopher Little, George Dolby, Richard Cranium, Gavin and Abby McDonald, Logan, Fire Unfriendly, Grandma Likes D&D, Alan, Stabby Stranger, Glitch Trick, Flynn 1138, Alarain Okapi, Schrodinger's Pepper, Madre de Gatos, Lady Maiden, Garbo Ape, Locke, Sam Schaefer, Waffle Marine, Dagger Rain, Rob L, Dia de los Hoodless, Squishy Werewolf, Remy, Funky Head, Accent Therapeutic Services in Florence, Kentucky, Lael, Shulzari, The Long Family, Jordan Oliver, Richard Wright, Brittany Fenwick, Alex Parr, Old Man Mojo, Dragonfly, The Body Barrelers, Megan Werner, A Man Out of Time, Curtis at FingerTechRobotics.com, Panda24NN, Shendra D, Your Homeboy Bones, The Gator Family, Ellis Hatch, Odigenous, Dan the Welshman, Afflicto Gaming, Aiden, Beef Not Cheese, and Jill and Noel LaPlante. If you want your name to be added to this list, you can join our Patreon too at patreon.com/dumbdumbdice. Thanks to them, and a little bit of thanks to you.